Brady. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, car starts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. Spectacular fashion.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you see it. Atlanta Motor Speedway, Echo Park Speedway. Screw all that. We ain't worried about all that. But we are live, and we are in prime time for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series here with Goat Locker. Race number 3 here tonight. And it's going to get down. It's going to get dirty. Hot Atlanta, dirty South, you name it. You're going to see it all live here tonight on V-Speed. Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Got the old DC over here, Daniel Cunningham, with me up here calling it color commentary tonight. And obviously, one we like to pick on all the time, Double L Liquor Slides in the house on production. And obviously, all these cameras here tonight is made possible by the great Dougie Beard. Daniel, buddy, I wasn't here last week. I wish I could have been. I heard Homestead was always a good one. It always is a good one in the next gen cars. But what a great time to be back at my home track, and certainly one of my favorite tracks as well. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. You definitely picked a good week to be back as we head to Atlanta, Dega, whatever you want to call it, New Atlanta, Echo Park, whatever the hell you want to call this place. This is also a Dash for Cash race. Got 5 drivers that we'll talk about throughout the evening. Cody McElwain, Patrick Trabick, Cody Bohm, Tim Wilms, and Jamie Libke, all racing for a $60 prize, whoever finishes the highest out of those 5 drivers. So going to be a good one. A couple extra layers to talk about here this evening. And from what I've been seeing here in practice with the way that these cars are driving, could get a little wild and chaotic here this evening.
Yeah, obviously that's going to be the big talking point of Atlanta Motor Speedway. As we look at our schedule, I talked about it just a second ago. We had Daytona, and then Talladega. I always think Daytona always starts off every damn season, but of course I was wrong. Talladega always starts it off with Goat Locker. Then Homestead, which obviously was last week. Then you got Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Texas, Gateway, Darlington. A little bit old school, if you will, till we get down to the playoffs. And then obviously the Championship 4 being decided way down the road in December for Season 8 of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series at Kansas. Daniel, which one of those races are you most looking forward to? Because if I had to pick, hell, you know me, I'm picking the one. If I couldn't pick the first week, I'm picking the night.
This is definitely going to be a good one. I love Darlington. That's the one I'm really looking forward to in the first half of the season. I think Kansas is the perfect track to host a championship race in these next-gen cars with the way that they race there. But you're right. This one here tonight is going to be a good one. And while we're talking about New Atlanta, you know what? We're just going to have to call this place Atlanta Dega to make sure that we're on the same page. While we're talking about Atlanta Dega, let's take a look at tonight's race details and see what these drivers are up against. 100 laps, 45 miles per hour on pit road. Also a little bit different with the pit entry here. If they pit under green, or well, even if they pit under caution, you got to be off the racing surface before turn 3. So a little bit different pit procedures here this evening. 3 sets of tires in the pits, 2 green, white checkers if we need them, running full fuel, and those iRacing fixed setups. Let's also take a quick look at our track map here for your home track there, Jake. Here in Hampton, Georgia, 1.5 mile racetrack, now got 28 degrees of banking in the turns after they did that repave, reconfigure. Track's been open since July 31st, 1960. You know, I got to ask, just out of curiosity's sake, how do you feel about the new Atlanta layout compared to the old one here?
Well, I got to be honest with you, Daniel. Honestly, I mean, I get a little a jiggle, wiggle, tickle out of it every single time we sit here and we watch these races here at New Atlanta. I mean, the old school mentality of it. Obviously, I sit here and I think about it. You know, yes, the old school mentality. Everybody thinks, hell yeah, give me the old Atlanta. You got the tire wear and all that good stuff. I'm all for it, but when they repaved it and then they made it into a super speedway, some people, they were against it. Some of them were against it. Even the NASCAR drivers, they were 100% against it. Then they saw the product that it was putting on out here on the racetrack, you know, and not only the Cup Series, but also with the Xfinity Series, with the Truck Series. And I'm talking real life here, folks. It has lived up to its name. That's why now Atlanta's got 2 races on the schedule, and rightfully so, exactly what it deserves. But if you ask for my opinion, honestly, I could give a damn. It's in the home state, baby. I'm a Georgia boy. Credit I pull for Alabama. That's beside the point. Home state right here in Atlanta. I love it either way, but certainly I'm happy that when they repaved it, it wasn't just a straight mile and a half. If they was going to repave it, they had to make it into something wild, and obviously they did. Honestly, I think the first mile and a half super speedway that I can actually think of. Well, here we go. Getting ready for race number 3 here tonight to kick it off. And starting on the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award, which is George Jewell in the 36. Starting on the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner. And since forming in 2003, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They've been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. So thank you very much to Jam Printing Promotions for their sponsorship on the pole. As you see George Jewell up here on that inside, he'll roll up from P1 to his outside, the man, the myth, the legend, the 07 of Patrick Drabick. Right behind him, James Silvers, number 4. He'll be rolling off with P3 here tonight, with the 25 of James Kaufman rolling off on the outside of row number 2. Brian Provo, here rolling off from P5 here tonight, with Stub Nation in the house. How about you? Timothy Stubblefield rolling off from P6 here this evening. Jamie Barkis rolling off from P7 with Dylan Canova. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Dylan Canova starting in P8. Then Jacob Linke will roll off with P9. And Cody Anderson rounding out the top 10.
Starting just outside the top 10, Cody McElwain, one of our Dash for Cash drivers, going to have an EOL as well as a drive-through penalty on the first lap of the race here as a result of a penalty from last week. Jacob Ellingson starting in 12th alongside. Looking back in the 13th position, we're going to have Charles Stevens with Charles Abert. All Charles, row number 7 there, starting 13th and 14th. Rolling off in 15th, going to be Jamie Libke with Tyler Evans in 16th. Starting in the 17th position, Timothy Wilms and Cody Bain, 2 more of our Dash for Cash drivers. Rounding out your top 20 is going to be Ricky Sisk Jr., Jeremy Gardner in that top 20.
And right behind them, you're going to have Ryan Pendleton back there 21st. Alex Cruz be rolling off from 22nd here tonight. Logan Sturgeon 23rd. Tyler Justice, he'll be back there in the 24th spot. Then Bobby Germain and Chuck Pegleg Phelps, way back there. Tail end Charlie here tonight at Atlanta. Pace lights is off, getting ready for the pace car to pull off here tonight at New Atlanta. Atlanta Dega, Hot Atlanta, Dirty South, however you want to look at it. Folks, like and subscribe if you haven't yet here on V-Speed as we get ready for race number 3. Oh, baby. Get your popcorn, get your cold beer, get your whiskey ready, baby. We're ready to rock and roll. Here we go. George Jewell, Patrick Drabick coming off turn 4 for the final time to get it rocking and rolling. Green flag is in the air. We are racing in the Dirty South in Hot Atlanta. George Jewell, not a good start. Patrick Drabick, fantastic start. We jump down up in front of George Jewell, outside lane, led by James Kaufman, but Drabick leads them off turn 2.
And Patrick Drabick, another one of our Dash for Cash drivers, actually the winner of this race last season in this Premier Cup Series. He's going to take the early lead. Back behind him, though, George Jewell looking to the outside, trying to get a little bit of help. You've also got Brian Provo there. George Jewell staying in line. It's going to be Patrick Drabick that leads. 2 cars nose to tail up there at the front. Second place, or rather third place, that is, side by side. You've got James Silvers there. You've got Jamie Barkis and Brian Provo also side by side directly behind.
Absolutely. Provo now actually going to take it up on the top side, kick it up top, try to make it stick one way or another, try to roll with it. Actually, that's Jamie Barkis in the 15.
Jamie Barkis in the wall.
Sideways, knocks the damn wall down. Provo gets involved as well. No caution on the speedway as of yet, but Jamie Barkis absolutely snaps sideways coming off a turn 4. Watch it again on the instant replay. And Daniel, buddy, I mean, that right there, turn 2 is kind of a tricky spot. But turn 4 in these next-gen cars, at least from my experience, it is loose as hell over here coming off of it.
Yeah, this is something that I saw quite a bit in practice. You can see he didn't really have anybody tucked up super tight behind him, just a little loose off the exit, and these cars are so hard to save once they start to go around. Pretty substantial damage there as well for the 15 of Jamie Barkis. And, you know, you mentioned that we're here in Atlanta. I know you're an Atlanta Braves fan too. Jamie Barkis, an Atlanta Braves fan. His race starting off about like the Braves season right there. I'm a Braves fan too, so I relate to that. But not the start that the 15 of Barkis was looking for there.
Yeah, see, you just completely just keyed it up at the right time. You really started it. You started it. You brought up the Atlanta Braves. Yes, they suck. They absolutely suck. There need to be some changes up there at the front office. But anyway, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm ironic enough, I'm wearing my Atlanta Braves hat right now. But Patrick Drabick leading George Jewell. Then you got James Silvers, Jacob Lenke, and Charles Stevens. That is the top 5. If you look at this at the moment, pack is split up into 2s. You got 16 cars in this long, snaky draft, all the way down on the bottom, down in the cellar where Grandpappy has the moonshine from Granny. So 16 of them up here at the front. Then you got a second pack that's led by Alex Cruz and Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, right here behind them with Logan Sturgeon and also Tyler Justice, Bobby Germain. All these guys kind of lined up. Daniel, these guys is 17th on back. These guys, I would expect, are trying to stay out of trouble. They don't want to get caught up in any wrecks. They don't want to get caught up in any problems. So I believe that's why these guys are staying back here in this second pack.
Yeah, that after that opening lap of what we saw there, or rather the second lap was what we saw with the 15 of Jamie Barkis. Can't really say that I blame him, even with the pack running single file right now. You get somebody tucked up behind you just right, packing just a little bit of air, you know, it could spell disaster for the front of this field. So I like it. It's a 100-lap race. We got a long way to go. But, you know, even with it being kind of a super speedway style of race, we saw these drivers go caution-free at Talladega for the first race of the season. So not to say that that is going to be the strategy. These guys might just, they might just make us look silly and go out here and go caution-free again.
Yeah, very good possibility that they could do that. And also remember, folks, that from what I'm seeing, there is a big old goose egg for the fast repairs here tonight. So Jamie Barkis, with that little bit of action that he snapped loose on right there at the start, he is already in a hole. He will have to get that fixed rightly. I mean, he can't just go in there, hit a button, and get a brand new car. He is going to have to get that fixed under caution, under green, whatever he can. Now these 2 packs that we were talking about starting to close up and make one long snake pack as you see them right here. Awesome, awesome production by Double L Lucas Lines, obviously with the cameras by Dougie Beard, showing it off here tonight. One driver pokes up to the top. There you see him, the 5, Alex Cruz, but nobody goes with him. He is going into the back in a hurry. He is hung out to dry on that top side.
Yeah, just no help there for the 5 of Alex Cruz. You see that 33 of Tyler Justice there on the bottom running a 911 Memorial scheme here this evening. Also got Chuck Pegleg Feltz back there running the Save 22 colors. Save 22 is also one of our great sponsors that we've got here at Goat Locker. They are a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate, save. And it's also fitting that we're talking about them today. Today, September 10th, being National Suicide Prevention Day, something that I was actually seeing earlier on social media, some friends of mine posting about. So in addition to Save 22 doing what they do to help out the veteran community, if you're out there and you're struggling, just a personal message here: if you need help, get help. The world's a better place with you in it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, 100%. The world is a better place with you and your loved ones always in the world. And also, right here up at the front with Patrick Dravick with the Save 22 up here at the front. Here for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, race number 3 in Atlanta. And speaking of Cruisin Classics, the title sponsorship of the series, Cruisin Classics, located in Columbus, Ohio. Cruisin Classics has a beautiful 56,000. Good Lord have mercy, what a big old place. 56,000 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There is something for everybody out of their hand-picked selection of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down to visit the facility today and check out their website, CruisinClassicsInc.com. That is CruisinClassicsInc.com, all one word. Don't put no spaces or dashes in the middle of it. All one word with .com. Make sure you get that one figured out. I mean, Daniel, I've heard a couple of people have told me or have sent me messages on Discord like, hey, hang on a second, is there a space in it? Hell no, there ain't a space in it. It's a web address. I mean, it's all one word. At least that's what you're supposed to do.
You are 100% correct. You know, one of these days, if I ever get out to Columbus, Ohio, I'm going to have to take a trip out there and visit just to see what they've got out there and go visit one of our great supporters that we've got here in this Next Gen series and in Goat Locker as a whole as well. But, you know, we were talking about those 2 different packs that we're running. That's not the case anymore. The field pretty much single file, but everybody in one pack together now. That second pack was able to get nose to tail, get lined up, and you can see it there. It almost looks like a bit of a conga line out there, just everybody kind of following single file, but up on that high side, a little bit closer to the back, the 57 of Big Daddy himself, Jeremy Gardner, with help from Logan Sturgeon behind. See Tyler Justice, that 3rd car in line, starting to make a little bit of headway here on this field, trying to make some moves, gain some track position. So that second groove starting to come in just a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, and also, Daniel, I mean, you know, I've raced here, obviously, in the next-gen cars. I've raced in the Xfinity cars and also in the trucks. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, and you can chime in on this as well, but everybody down on the bottom side, it is somewhat, I guess you could say, the faster way around the track. I mean, you can save some tire down there as well, but up top, you get the better speed. You're able to, in most cases, literally just haul the mail all the way around the top. Here's the difference, and Daniel, you correct me if I'm wrong here, but on the bottom side, you will get tight. You will start to burn that right front up even more and more and more, whereas on the top side, you got to burn off that right rear so you get loose, even in the middle lane. So there's a happy medium that these drivers is going to have to deal with here tonight. You want to be tight, you want to be loose, you want to be on the bottom, you want to be on the top. Something we don't see at Daytona and Talladega, which is another key reason why myself personally love the new Atlanta configuration.
Yeah, this track definitely has a unique set of challenges compared to Daytona and Talladega, like you had mentioned. You know, the handling really doesn't come into play quite as much at those 2 tracks. As you can see Logan Sturgeon right up on the back bumper of that 57 car, trying to give a little bit of a shove here. Let's actually go on board and take a ride along with the 26 of Logan Sturgeon, as we see him in that 16th position here, following Jeremy Gardner. And see if he's got any bit of counter steer with running up there on that high side. Not really tucked up super tight behind Gardner as of right yet. But just trying to make just a little bit of ground up there.
Yeah, he's just trying to stay with him as close as he can. Whoa, battle for the lead is on. Whoa, actually, no, that's the 0-8. That was Brian Provo, excuse me. He is going to the back up on the top side. He will go one lap down, so we'll stay back here in the back where all this action and commotion is going on. And what's going to get interesting is Jeremy Gardner, Big Daddy G, leading this outside lane. That is where the lap car of Brian Provo, you'll see him just for a second right there at the bottom of your screen. Provo is there, and for the most part, Provo's going to have to kick up to the very, very top side, looking 3 wide. That's going to get interesting. They haven't been 3 wide here tonight yet, but there you see Provo scraping the fence, everybody trying to get around him, and for the most part, Brian Provo, everybody able to get around him. So we'll lead back up to that top side where Jeremy Gardner trying to tow that 26 of Logan Sturgeon around Atlanta.
Yeah, still trying to make that top groove work. Jeremy Gardner now up to that 13th position. They have made a couple of spots here, but it's just kind of slow and steady process. Right as soon as we say that, they drop back down to the bottom, but we've got a crash right up ahead of them. The 25 involved. That's James Kaufman. James Silver's in the 4 around. Cody Anderson, it looked like, believe that was Cody Anderson, had some big damage out of that. There's one driver pulling a Kyle Busch backing down the back straightaway here. Didn't quite see who that was, but let's cue this up on that V-Speed instant replay. Take a look at what happened here. See Jake Ellingson following in behind. Oh, just a little bit of contact between the two. And Cody Anderson, James Kaufman definitely got the hardest hits out of that and got the most damage out of it.
Damn, Cody Anderson, hard impact into that outside retaining wall. Just a little bit of a love tap. Riding on board with James Kaufman, see what Kaufman sees. And, you know, with these next-gen cars, I mean, even in the trucks or Xfinity, it's hard to see what's going on right in front of you. I mean, you can see it up there just a little bit, but damn, I mean, by the time it happens, it's game over. Already Kaufman up into the wall, one other driver shooting up to the outside retaining wall. Everybody tried to shoot through. And then there you see a couple of them taking the Kyle Busch route, riding all the way backwards, if you will, down the back chute. As we look back through the field, some of these other guys. Daniel, I would say that this would be the big one. At least one of them. And we still got a ways to go here. You know, we're a quarter of the way through this damn thing. But still, I would say that this would be one of the big ones.
Yeah, quite a few drivers that were involved in that. When you see Chuck Pegleg, Phelps gets a little bit of damage. I believe James Silver's had some damage out of that as well. Dylan Canova. So, yeah, Jake, I believe that that's going to qualify as the big one here. Going to take a quick ride on board with Brian Provo, who was actually a lap down when this happened from that earlier incident with Jamie Barkas. He had a front row seat for this. He's just going to cold trickle his way through this wreck, Days of Thunder style. I mean, I don't want to say he didn't have to do nothing, but man, he was just able to hold it straight and the seas parted for him there.
Damn, what a drive right there by Brian Provo. I guess kind of got a little lucky right there. And I believe maybe Provo might have got the lucky dog out of that. I'm not 100%, but I think he will get the beneficiary, get the lucky dog, get the free pass, and should be able to get right back on the lead lap is exactly what Provo's doing. Provo coming down pit road right now, so he had to beat the pace car out, all that good stuff. Well, folks, we're just getting started here at Hot Atlanta. Take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here at Hot Atlanta very shortly. Well, damn, it's some hot rods right there. Beautiful, beautiful hot rods. We talked about Cruisin Classics just a second ago. While we got the opportunity to talk about one of another sponsor real quick as we are doubled up and getting ready to go back green. And obviously that is Lincoln Tech. And Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior education and training to their students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. 23! That's a lot. And they are obviously the title sponsor of the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series, which was at Long Beach last night. It was a wet one. Hurricane. If any of y'all checked this out on V-Speed, thank you very much for joining us last night. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to V-Speed and go check out Goat Locker on Facebook, X, wherever you get your social media, TikTok, YouTube, however you want to do it. We're back at it. Green flag back in the air. Tyler Evans up here at the front. He's got Dravic behind him. Charles Abert in the 7 trying to lead this inside lane, trying to make it happen. Jacob Lindke down on the bottom side. Evans is in a deep doo-doo situation. Here comes another going to tag.
Get on the backstretch.
Gets into 84 of Charles Stevens. They slip, they slide. Caution is out once again.
And that was not a pretty restart. Charles Abert and Tyler Evans were both on older tires. They actually stayed out on that pit cycle. Patrick Drabick looks to the inside, just slight contact between he and the 77. Big damage for Drabick. Charles Stevens in the 84 got a big piece of that. Take one more look at it here from this angle. Also, once we get through this, I want to take a look on board with the 78 of Cody Bame from his angle through this. But you see, it looked like Pat was just trying to get to the inside and just slight contact sends around that 77 car of Tyler Evans. That's actually going to give Patrick Drabick a meatball. One of our Dash for Cash drivers going to be out of it early here. But this was the driver. I don't know if he got any of it or not, but he was trying to take every evasive maneuver he could. That's Cody Bame in that 78 car. See here, he drops down to the inside as all calamity breaks loose in front of him. Ooh, and he's just about through it. Oh, baby. I think he missed everything out of that, Jake.
Damn. Wow. And kind of a throwback. Steve Park looking paint scheme. Check it out. Bam, right there. Split the difference with Patrick Drabick and another driver and still was able to miss every bit of it. Cody Baum, I believe that's his name. Yeah, that's how you pronounced it. Bame, excuse me. Cody Bame. Let's not get no keyboard warriors out there. Mess that one up. But Cody Bame, how about that? Able to drive right through it, make it happen. Charles Avert up here leading. See Barkus sliding by. He gets the lucky dog on this one. He'll be back on the lead lap. Jacob Lindke, Jake Ellenson, Stub Nation, Timothy Stubblefield, and your pole sitter tonight, George Jewell, up into the 5th spot. Well, Daniel, buddy, I mean, right here, about, screw it, 30 laps into a 100-lapper here tonight in Atlanta. What do you think of it so far?
It's definitely been chaotic so far, even though we did have that early stretch with everybody just kind of running single file, trying to log some laps. You know, we saw the early incident between Jamie Barkus and Brian Provo. Didn't bring out a caution, but that was on the first lap of the race. Well, second lap of the race, first full lap at speed. And now we've seen multiple drivers that have had the dreaded meatball pop up here this evening. That's also going to include Patrick Drabick, James Kaufman, and Dylan Canova. As 3 of those, Cody Anderson also with quite a bit of damage. He's 5 laps down, still out on the track, but he is still out there at the moment. So, yeah, it's been a wild one so far, and we are just over a quarter of the way done with this race. These drivers are putting on a show so far, and I have a feeling they ain't done yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that they are done yet. Absolutely not. And it's going to get interesting right here as we got a little double filing up right here with Jacob Lindke up on the top side, Charles Abert, Jake Ellenson, George Jewell, Jamie Lipke, the top 5 of Logan Sturgeon Tyler Justice, Brian Provo. Wasn't he a lap down a while ago? Damn,
was
he
indeed.
missed that big one a while ago. He was a lap down, drove right through it. He's going to look up. He's going to come out of this right now sitting in 8th. And then the 78, he missed all that calamity, all hell breaking loose in front of him. He's up 9 spots from where he started. Started 18th, he's up to 9th, and now Stub Nation, after all the cycling around, he is in P10. So, gonna be interested out of this. Jeremy Gardner tried to see if he can jump a couple of spots. Might want to get with the race director on that one. Gardner tried to slide up through there, get him a couple extra spots. I'm just screwing around at that point. But this will be interesting, to say the least, on these restarts. We've already seen people already stack up, kind of get sideways. People kind of jump around, get loose. We've seen it all right here. So handling is going to come into play here tonight at New Atlanta, Atlanta-Dega. We're going to call it Hot Atlanta. Screw it. We're going to Atlanta, and this is Hot Atlanta. So we'll just go with it at that point. Here we go. Pace car is off. Now let's see if we can get back to some pack racing. Here we go. Charles Averett gasses it up. Green flag back in the air. Lenke, not a good start. Ellingson right behind him gets a little bit better of a start than Lenke does. Joel trying to line up on Lenke's back door. Logan Sturgeon jumps up on that top side. Lemke down on the bottom side. They're going to roll. Will Lenke jump down? No, he will not. Averett leads them off too.
Yeah, good restart there for Charles Averett. And Jacob Lenke did pit on that the first caution that we had, but had a substantially shorter stop. So maybe a 2-tire stop there out of the 37. Tried to lead that outside lane, and that third car in line on the inside as they think about 3 wide through the tri-oval. Third car in line on the inside. That's 16 of Jamie Libke. She's actually the highest running of our Dash for Cash drivers right now. So really strong run to this point, and in position to take home the money right now, but still quite a ways to go. And you also see that 78, that yellow car of Cody Bame up there in the 6th position. Did have a little bit of damage from that last caution, even with the wreck avoidance. Looks like they've got that 78 Steve Park throwback patched up and ready to roll here, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot get a more beautiful paint scheme than what that 78 of Cody Bame has right now on that 78. It looks good. Is that Pennzoil on the side of that thing? Lucas, let's get a shot of that. I see Gardner going by Joel, but is that Pennzoil on the side of this thing? Did he dead on balls accurate make it? No, he did not. Nope, absolutely not. It was velocity, but still beautiful paint scheme. I just had to look. I love the old school paint schemes, Daniel. I know you do too, but I just had to look to see if somehow or another he flipped it and made it the whole Pennzoil thing. But velocity, go check them out. Hell, they're a good sponsor with him, so go check out Velocity, I reckon.
Yeah, Velocity actually, I believe, is the team that he runs for in a lot of series. I've raced with him over in a couple other places here. New to Goat Locker, but somebody that I've raced against quite a few times, running up there in that 4th position currently. See behind him, Jacob Lenke gets a little bit tight, it looked like, in the middle of that turn. Jeremy Gardner going to look to the inside with George Jewell tucked up right behind him. You can see on the front of that 36 of George Jewell, pretty substantial dent in the front of that car from one of those earlier incidents. Doesn't look like it's slowing him down a whole lot as of yet. I think he's probably fine as long as he's not the lead car in the line, but able to keep up pretty well even with that front end damage.
Yeah, screw it. Let it eat, baby. Let it eat. Let it get all that it can get out. But with that little bit of front end damage, also what that's going to do, like you said, Daniel, if he leads, he's in deep doo-doo. If he's got to push somebody so hard, he's in deep doo-doo. So he's able to kind of hang around right there. And folks, the problem that I'm saying he's in deep crap is basically if he tries to get up on the back door of Gardner with that front end damage that he has, as you see Sturgeon back here battling it out right there with, I believe that's Tyler Justice, or no, excuse me, that is Stub Nation on the outside trying to make a pass. But back to Joel with that front end, how it's dead at end. It will affect the water pressure. It will affect the oil temperature, all that good stuff, oil temp, water temp, all that. So he's got to be mindful if he seals that off, trying to push Gardner or whoever's in front of him. gotta be careful with that. RPMs probably ain't dropped. Which if his RPMs would have been dropped, then he probably would be in a big bad spot. But he's gonna have to manage that throughout the race, unless he's still got some optional repairs that he can try to fix later on during a caution.
Yeah, hopefully he can come down and get some of that damage fixed. But for now, it looks like track position is kind of the name of the game at this point. Charles Abert has yet to come down pit road, and he has kept that lead, able to maintain and control this race so far as we approach lap number 40. The only problem that he may run into is he's the only one that's really on this strategy. So even if he can one-stop it, make it to the end on one more stop like everybody else can, he's going to be running into a little bit of an issue that he may not have any help when he comes down pit road. And with the way that you have to enter here, you don't have to maintain that pit speed around 3 and 4 like they do in real life, but still not the fastest way around the track. You're losing a lot of time that way, and then you're going to be losing even more time running by yourself out there on the track with no drafting help.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a big deal out of that. I mean, if this would have been the old Atlanta, then obviously odds are they wouldn't all be packed up tightly like they are. Everybody would have probably already been spread out from this point, and then you would have been fine. I mean, you could pit by yourself at the old Atlanta. You wouldn't have a damn thing to worry about. New Atlanta, big difference. Got to be careful. Don't want to be all by yourself, because I've ran by myself here in these next-gen cars here at, Hotlanta. You run by yourself compared to the pack, oh, there's a difference. You wouldn't think there's a difference, folks, but I promise you, there's a difference. You will get blown by like you are sitting still, literally. Think you're standing on a street corner in Las Vegas or on the Las Vegas Strip, and then you got one street racing guy just drives right by you, hauling the mail, blows right by you, and it literally, he goes by so fast that it knocks your Coca-Cola out of your hand, or knocks your dip bottle out of your hand, or your beer can, whatever. That's what you're experiencing when you are not in the draft in these next-gen cars. You have got to stay in the draft. If you do not stay in the draft, you are, once again, deep doo-doo. Daniel, I know what you was thinking about on that Facebook message. I was not going to go there.
Yeah, that's for a behind the mic segment. The next time
Yes.
that you, the next time that the Door Banging Download puts out a new episode. So, sorry, that got a little distracted there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You're going to be at a definite disadvantage if you have to come down pit road by yourself. That's one of the big changes that they've actually made to this place from when they first released this new scan. Remember, at one point in time, you could actually undercut and actually be faster by yourself with fresh tires than the pack in the draft on old tires. It's kind of a different wrinkle that they threw in, but they've definitely changed some of those grip levels and some of the tire fall off to kind of account for that. So be interesting to see how that pit strategy plays out. And, there may be some guys that just say, well, once we get into the pit window, maybe we go ahead and come down pit road, take the last of that service, and see what we can make of the evening. But, definitely, if I'm Charles Abert right now, I'm a little bit concerned about possibly having to pit by myself.
Yeah, I mean, but, with how they mix it up, a couple of them diving around back there. They were looking 3 wide for just a second, but back down to 2 wide, with a couple of them up on the top side trying to make a run, get up here, and get it going one way or another. But, yeah, I mean, Charles Abert, I think at this point is probably praying for a caution. I would be. You don't want to get yourself in a bad situation. Like you said, going down pit road by yourself pretty much kills your race, because you go down pit road, you go around, and that's something, that we were talking about. You talked a little bit about it, Daniel. New Atlanta is different than any of the other tracks that we go to. Talking about that pit road, baby, save it, Linky, save it, son. Oh no, he goes around, spins it out on the front stretch, no caution, which is weird. No caution. It's on the speedway, but he saved it.
Somehow that does not bring out a caution, even though he was completely stopped in the middle of the track. I think the tower might have been asleep on that one. As you can see, he just gets just a little loose on his own there, gets down on the apron, really does a fantastic job of not wiping out the field there and not wiping himself out, even though he did go around and going to lose the draft here. That could have easily been another big one that we hit there this evening.
Yeah, I mean, and stay with it right here after he spins out, because something happened right there at the end. We called it right before we went to the instant replay, but you see Lenke might have got a little bit of oversteer, might have, took the air off his spoiler one way or another, spins it, slides it, hits the grass, tries to straighten it out, gets back up the track, doesn't hit the wall, but check it out. We're still riding on board with him. Watch this right here. He gets it straightened out, comes down the track just a little bit, and then watch this, gets it straightened out, and then out of nowhere, bam, there was somebody else that was coming through there. They almost T-boned it, baby. Oh, baby, Cody Anderson. Oh, baby, I bet you his butt cheeks clenched up real hard when he saw him spinning around right there. He had to be just a tick scared.
Yeah, Cody Anderson was out there trying to make some laps after that early damage that he had, probably thinking, man, ain't nothing going to happen. I'm just running here by myself. If something does happen, plenty of time to miss it. And next thing you know, you got somebody stopped in front of you in the middle of the track like that. So definitely not what you were hoping for there if you're Cody Anderson, but nice job of avoiding that incident. Take a look here. George Jules still having a really solid run in that number 6 position. The Shasta out there in the chat rooting on George, rooting on the Save 22 drivers. Appreciate her hanging out there in the chat with us this evening and tuning in, as well as everybody else that's out there. I got a little bit of a chuckle. My Pro-Am teammate in the ARCA series here on Monday night, Alan Smith, said earlier, old man can hear now. So, we were having our audio issues earlier, taking a little dig at himself out there in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I mean, always nice to have everybody taking shots at us any way they can. And real quick, if somehow or another you decide to take a shot at us, forewarned, we will take a shot back at you. I have done that before. I have had people take shots at me on broadcast, and I come out live on the air and I take shots back at them. So you got to be careful. Be careful. You screw with us, but you do that, you're open to fair game, because we will jump back at you one way or another. But absolutely, everybody light up that live chat. Let us know what you're feeling here tonight about the new Atlanta. I mean, how about this? Let's get, everybody talking out here. We were talking about, new Atlanta and old Atlanta earlier. Everybody in the live chat, light it up. Let us know. Do you like the new Atlanta over old Atlanta, or do you feel like old school Atlanta is the way to go? Let us know out there in that live chat, and we'll read some of your comments here shortly as Charles Abert still leads.
Yeah, and one thing we do have here this evening is we do have a few drivers that have their webcams on that are actually giving us a live look here this evening. One of those, our third place driver right now, our highest running of the Dash for Cash drivers, that is Jamie Lipke. Let's take a quick look here at what Jamie is doing out there on the track. As you can see, just kind of riding along in third place right now. Let's actually take a live look at Jamie as well there with that camera set up. You see, just looks so relaxed. You think these super speedway type of races, you're up on the wheel, you're thinking about strategy, but Jamie looking like this is just a Sunday drive right now.
That's what it looks like. To be honest with you, usually it will be that way. Daniel, when you get like single file like this, unless you're, Jacob Lenke, just thinking you're just going to send it right in the corner and the damn thing going to stick. Guess what? It don't. You just spin her right out. So it does look like it is somewhat of a Sunday drive for Jamie, but it's not. I mean, these guys still got a handful on these cars. And, one thing about this place that is different from Daytona, Talladega, is tire wear does come into play. I mentioned it earlier about how on the bottom side you can eventually get tight. On the top side, you can eventually get loose. So the tire wear will come into play, and eventually Jamie and all of them are going to start to mess with that wheel. They're going to start to turn that wheel even harder and harder and harder. If they get up on the top side, they're going to have to counter steer a little bit. So they're going to have to they're going to have to be careful with, you know, they're just going to have to. I mean, right now they look like they're having it easy right now, just because everybody's running damn single file. Let them get 3 wide, 2 wide. Let them start mixing it up, everything else, and then you're going to see everybody really sawing on that wheel, and everybody's going to have a handful.
Yeah, once they start running double file here, they will definitely be sawing on the wheel. Going to need to have all the grip that they can while they're doing so. And you know what would help out quite a bit with that, Jake, is a nice set of gloves from one of our sponsors, Glove Station, one of our great supporters here. They are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, they got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. One of our great sponsors here, and we certainly appreciate all their support.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been great support out of Glove Station. I've been plenty of sponsors that we have here with Goat Locker. I mean, you know, we could literally go through a list of these sponsors, you know, all these people that love to support this great league. I mean, you know, we'll throw up another one up there, which is obviously NVETS. NVETS aids in transition into civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit organization in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to the state to live and work. They are the title sponsor of the Sunday NVETS Xfinity Series here with Goat Locker. Well, Charles Abert still holding down this lead. Nothing really getting crazy as of right now. Abert, Ellingson, well, front four, actually, they're trying to start to separate themselves from everybody else, with Bame trying to latch on. But for the most part, it's single file, at least for the moment right now, Daniel.
Yeah, almost a full second between the third place driver of Jamie Lind. God, I can't talk tonight, Jake. Of Jamie Libke. Give me enough tries, and eventually I'll get the name right, with Cody Bame there in fourth. And then that fourth car that was actually in line up there at the front was Cody Anderson, slotting in behind the leaders, still out there riding it out with that damage. As we take a look, as soon as we go on board with Jeremy Gardner, see a big wiggle out of the 78 of Bame there off of turn 4. Did a really nice job of holding onto that vehicle. I just heard Jeremy actually mic up on race comms and say something about that. That was quite the save that we actually caught there from that onboard. Let's take a look here. See the 26 of Logan Sturgeon there in line. George Jewell running in 7th. Still hanging on, running really solid tonight with that damage on the front of the car, as we had talked about. You got Tyler Justice. Been a really quiet night for him so far, which, based off of how some of his other races have gone here in Goat Locker to start this season, he's probably perfectly content with a quiet night at this point. Running that nice 9/11 memorial scheme that he actually made up earlier today. Started in 24th, currently running in the 8th position, one of our biggest movers here of the race this evening. It's a really solid run for him. Back up a little bit closer to the front of the field, though, that second pack has actually caught the lead 3 cars. Cody Bame now closed right up on the back bumper of Jamie Libke there in 3rd position. See, he's made quite a bit of progress. Still got Logan Sturgeon, George Jewell, Tyler Justice there in line as well. And these 2 cars running 3rd and 4th right now. That is going to be the battle for our Dash for Cash right now. The highest 2 running drivers out of the 5, and actually 4 of them still on track at the moment. See, the field pretty much single filed out right now. Field still running Field still running single file. First battle for position that we really started to see there was George Jewell, but slots back in line behind the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. Charles Abert has just done a phenomenal job hanging on to that lead here with a little bit older tires. And just, I'll be honest, I didn't think that this strategy would work out this well for him, but done a really nice job holding that track position.
Yeah, I mean, give it time. Give it time. Because, I mean, it's like you said, I mean, or how long is he going to go, until he runs out of gas, until he gets himself in a situation where he's going to have to get gas. As we start to see a couple of movement back here right behind him. 42 trying to make a pass down on the inside back there where Brian Provo is. And think about Brian Provo. Remember, he was a lap down at one point. That's Bobby Germain who just took a shot and went around him. Germain hauling the mail, trying to catch up to this group. Right in front of him, Ricky Sesh Jr., Charles Stevens, Chuck Phelps, all these guys up here in this second pack that have got left. And I mean got left from this front pack. The last one in that front pack is Tyler Justice. He is the one that's leading that bad boy. James Silver's trying to latch on, and we got guys jumping down pit road, a couple of them. Might have been from this front pack. Jumping down, yes, sir. Charles Abert, J.V. Lemke. They jumping down pit road right here for scheduled green flag pit stops.
So Charles Abert, we have been talking about, is he going to have any friends when he comes down pit road to get that last pit stop out of the way? Jamie Lipke did come down, as you had mentioned as well. So going to have a little bit of drafting help. Field broken apart just a little bit here. A couple of distinct different packs that are running. As you can see, they are almost all the way back to the start finish line here. Got them almost a lap down and just starting their pit stops. So that just goes to show you how much time you lose by actually pitting under green here. It's definitely going to put you at least a lap down. They're basically going to be about a lap and a half, almost 2 full laps down by the time that they make their way back out onto the track and blend back out.
Yeah, absolutely. When 30 to go here at New Atlanta, Jake Ellenson leads, and we got one driver right here in the waiting room wanting to come up here, having a little talk with us, and that is Big Dog Brandon Evans in the house. Brandon, buddy, how the hell have you been? It's been a while since I talked to you.
Man, I've been good. I'm trying to keep up with the season a little bit. Hate that I'm not in it this year, been talking with Jeremy and stuff, one of my teammates. Good looking Safe 22 car out there on the racetrack. Just got life going on and such. 10-month-old, trying to get my master's degree. Just trying to continue on with the Premier building stuff and put Goat Locker. Had to put something to the side, and unfortunately had to put Goat Locker to the side for this season. But, hope to be back soon for sure.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, buddy. And I know 100%. I don't know about a 10-month-old, but I know about a 2-month-old. I know about that. I don't know about 10-month. I ain't got that far yet, but I know about a 2-month-old.
Hey man, don't believe it'll be here before you know it. Trust me.
That's what I hear. I hear that from everybody. Every single person I've talked to, they've said the same exact thing out of that.
Oh, for sure.
Brandon, I mean, these next gen cars, obviously, you talked about it. Obviously, you race with Premier Racing Setups. You're one of the builders for the next gen car. And, I mean, you know a lot about these next gen cars. You've raced in Atlanta. I've raced with you. Probably didn't finish where we probably should have in that race. But what's the mindset that these drivers are having to go through with your experience in these next gen cars with the draft and the handling and everything that these guys are having to deal with?
Yeah, you kind of have to break it up into parts, right? What's the car going to feel like on entry? What's the aero grief going to feel like in the center of the corner? And can I make the exit? And where can I put the car on exit? And can I generate enough momentum for a run? And can I make that work? Back in the day, you could really make the side draft work in the last update or the last build on the car. where you could get a huge run, back up the corner a little bit, get a good push from behind, just like you would see really in old school NASCAR. Get a big run, pull on that right rear of your competitor on the outside, and maybe you get a friend to push you and get clear. But with this new car and the new update, the car's bottoming out all over the place. The aero grief is kind of a funky thing where what that does is it lifts the back of the car. You can actually see it in Motec. It's so crazy. When you get really, really close to somebody in the back end of their car, it really gets the rear of the car free. And all the downforce is made on the bottom of this car in that diffuser. So, when you lift that thing off the track, the car gets all squirrely. And then on top of that, the draft model is it's bad, man. You pull out on this car, it's a big plow box. So, you kind of have to figure it out. You got to figure out what you can do. You gotta see if you got a dancing partner there to work with you. If it's 2-on-1, well, the guy that's by themselves is about to get hosed. You know what I'm saying? So it's a challenge. It's patience. You got to have a lot of patience. You can't expect to do what you used to be able to do in this car. So, in the build process, that's the stuff that we test. That's the stuff that we build for. We try out those scenarios. Hey, can I pull out here or can I not? Do I got too much camber in the front? Is it overturning or oversteering on the entry? Meaning I can't. It just makes getting to the bottom of the track unpredictable. Or is there any way to generate any speed on the outside? It's just you just don't know what you don't know. And I know these guys are driving a fixed set or they're all on the same setup. And so you just kind of have to manage your own race. Am I gonna just ride around and just make that last lap pass, which is the typical strategy, or is there a pit stop involved? And pit road here is kind of funky where you got to go down the back stretch, and how do you maximize that, right? So who practiced? Atlanta's its own challenge, its own beast, but overall, the next gen car with this new update and the tire model and how much grip it has, man, it's so different than it was even 6 months ago. So it's been a challenge. It's been fun, but it puts on a good show here and there. So, it looks like Goat Locker's having a pretty good run at it here so far, and I expect it to continue,
Yeah, I mean, I believe so too as well, Brandon. Daniel, you got any questions for Brandon?
No, I think y'all pretty well covered it. You were asking him everything that I was thinking about. While we've been talking to him here, Jake Ellingson's just absolutely checked out from the field. So, Ellingson in a good spot here in that 27 car leading right now.
Yeah, he's literally putting a whooping on him right now. Well, Brandon, buddy, thank you very much for coming up here and giving us a holler up here, interviewing real quick, buddy. Sorry that you're not racing with us in the Next Gen Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. I'm sure you would give them a run for the money here in the Next Gen Series, as you see Bam way back here, way behind Jake Ellingson. But Brandon, buddy, before we let you go, hell, why not? You got any sponsors? You got any shout outs that you want to give out?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to point out sponsors when you're not racing, man. It's an awkward question. No, I just, I thank you guys in the booth, and I thank Goat Locker and Patrick and Jamie and Jake and all the guys that put up a bunch of hard work here to put on a show for all the fans and stuff, and putting on such a good league, man. There's so many leagues out there, and I think Goat Locker puts on one of the best and represents veterans and first responders very well. Obviously got to shout out Premier Racing Setups and all that. So here, I'll jump out here. I know y'all got some stuff going on the racetrack. So appreciate the time and thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much for your time. Sorry that we cut you off right there, but hell, it looked like he was fixing a wreck right here, coming off of turn 2, coming off of turn 4. But, buddy, appreciate your time. Take care of that baby. Take care of that baby.
Hey, buddy, you more importantly. All right. Enjoy it, man. Every day is different. Have fun.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. That was Brandon Evans. As you see right there, the 12, the 84, making a little contact. Chuck Stevens Ricky Sis Jr. making a little contact right there. Daniel Buddy, he was, baby Chuck right there gets a little sideways, tries to straighten it out. Ricky Sis Jr. got in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there between these two drivers. Looks like Ricky trying to get down to the bottom. Not quite enough room there at first, but Charles Stevens gave a little bit of a gap, but then just contact between the two of them. So kind of an interesting situation that took place there. Meanwhile, we've got a black flag on the 27 car of Jake Ellingson. After we were just talking about him, see him there coming down pit road. Didn't quite catch what happened. Not sure if it was maybe a pit entry issue or what may have happened. As we see, he's one of our drivers that also has the live cam here this evening. That is the look of quite a frustrated driver, somebody that was in control there. But yeah, Jake, I did not exactly see what happened to him, but does indeed have that black flag that he is going to have to serve here in the late going of this race.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about having live cams. You can actually see the frustration. And I'm not even gonna attempt to try to sound off what he said. Don't even want to try it. We'll be fired by the time I even try to figure it out. I'm not even gonna guess at it. But here's Jake coming down pit road right here. See what happened. See kind of what happens with the 27. Did he blow it? Did he drive down through there fast? Remember, Daniel, they can literally haul the mail coming through 3 and 4. There is no speed limit per se through 3 and 4, but I think we may get a good idea of it right here. As you see, Ellingson works his way, comes right here off of turn 2. He's going to come down pit road this time by. You see Ellingson tries to drop it down. Here he goes. Watch what happens. He goes down low. He's able to make the cone, comes down through there. He's still hauling ass all the way around through 3 and 4. But watch what happens when he gets to the entrance of pit road. Gets to the entrance of pit road. I think he loses grasp of where the cone is. Bam! He was moving very, very fast. He was going in there at around 70 miles an hour, 70, 80 miles an hour. Well, pit road speed limit ain't that. It's like 45. So, I mean, he missed by a mile and then also kind of drove out of the track just a little bit. So, kind of a double whammy, I guess you could say, for the 27. But up front, that has flip-flopped this race on its lid. And look who's up here leading this thing. Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, from 20th all the way up to the front. With Logan Sturgeon, James Silvers right behind him. This is when it's going to get good, baby. 10 laps to go. Now is when the race really kicks off.
Yeah, inside of 10 to go. And, I can't help but wonder if maybe that second pack, the reason why they were falling back of Jake Ellingson was because of trying to save some fuel. As we've got a car around in the tri-oval, that is going to bring out the car. And that was the 37 of Jacob Lenke that went around with some contact there. Looks like the 12 of Ricky Sisk may have had a little bit of an issue there as well, but that is going to set us up for some late race calamity here. See Jacob Lenke up there on that top groove, and just a little wiggle there. Maybe Jamie Lipke got into him just a little bit when the 37 had to check up, and that was all it took. Around she went for the 37. And then also looked like Jamie Lipke may have gotten a little bit of damage in that as well. One of our Dash for Cash drivers there. Going to ride on board with the 16 of Jamie Lipke here. Definitely not what they were hoping for as far as that. Both Lipke and Charles Abert, they had actually caught back up to the pack from pitting earlier in the race. And they were actually making some really fast lap times. Now that I'm looking here live, Jamie Lipke has actually gone around yet again under caution with heavy damage to the front of her car. So it didn't look too bad before, but that car is absolutely smashed now on the front end. Looked like she was just trying to check up for the field coming to the pace car there, and just hard on the brakes, trying not to hit somebody else, and that's all it took.
Man, I hate to do it. I'm gonna do this. I can't remember which one of these sound bites it is, but I'm gonna play it. But you get wrecked like that right there, and you're parked like that, you know what you got to play. I had to do it. I had to do it. Why not? I mean, I had to do it. I'm probably going to get some beef out there in the live chat on that one right there, but I just saw it. I remember that. Had to play it, but looks like most of the field is staying out here as Double L Lucas Lyons is about to beat my ear off. Literally, he will not be quiet about it. But, you know, Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner leads, Logan Sturgeon second, James Silver's third, Timothy Williams fourth, Tyler Justice. That's your top 5 here in Atlanta. Well, folks, I just want to go ahead and say one thing, and I'm gonna and I'll say this, and I'm not gonna talk too much in depth about it, but everyone watching this here tonight, all I'm gonna say is, no matter what you do during the day, you know, if this could be a Jake's final thought that I usually have on the door bang and download, no matter what you do during the day, when you get home and you get home to see your family, and you get a chance to see your wife, you get a chance to see your son, your daughter, your girlfriend, whatever, your loved ones. You get home and, you know, after the day, you get home and you get a chance to see your loved ones. Spend time with them as much as you possibly can, because it's every single day that somebody around the world went to work and they wasn't able to come home and see their loved ones. And, I'm not going to get in too much detail as to why I bring that up, but I know this. I mean, not necessarily. Well, yeah, actually, I know this firsthand, matter of fact. With people that I've worked with, and Daniel, I'm sure you can attest to this as well, but, I know we sit here and we do the sim racing and we do the announcing and we do all this good stuff, and it's fantastic, and everything else. But at the end of the day, whatever you do during the day, when you get home, the first thing you need to do is see your loved ones, because, you need to be grateful, because it's like I said, Daniel, there's people all around the world that they go to work and they don't see their families at night because something happened to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's very well said. Whether it's your spouse, your significant other, children, your cat, your dog, whatever it is, spend time with your loved ones. You never know when it may be the last opportunity to do so. Don't take that for granted. I think that's a good. You mentioned Jake's final thought here. I know that that's not where we're at in the race, but I think that's a good point to drive home here this evening.
Yeah, very much is. And it just, I'll put it to you this way: something happened today that just made me think about saying that. And that's all I'm gonna say. So let's get this bad boy closed out right here with 5 laps to go. Who's going to win it? Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner up here at the front. Logan Sturgeon running in second. Both of these guys started 20th or worse. Gardner started 20th. Sturgeon started 22nd. They latched up. They hooked up. They're going to be exchanging Christmas gifts in December if they can make it a 1-2. Silver's to the top. Justice lined up on the bottom side. It is literally throw it in there and see if it sticks here for these last 5 laps.
And one thing we did not touch on, there were some drivers that came down and took tires on that stop. Top 5 on the older tires, 6th place on back. They've got 4 fresh ones. They've got 4 laps left to use them. Will they be able to make anything happen? And also, we've talked about that dash for cash. We've got Timothy Williams in 5th, Cody Bame in the 7th, 8th position, depending on how they shake out with the draft. We've got that battle for the dash for cash, but they are nose to tail. Gonna have to try to make something happen as they're 3 wide with George Jewell. What a power move up through the middle to be able to get around Bame in the 78. Put George Jewell up another spot. That was quite a move that he made. Tyler Evans in that 77, now the first one on fresher tires. These guys are just throwing haymakers in this little second group we got here.
Yeah, George Jewell obviously shot right there also around the 86, and Timothy Williams now starting to see a little bit of outside shuffle. Timothy Stubblefield jumps up. Cruz thought about going with him. Justice thinking about going to the top side. Stubblefield leading on the outside lane. Here comes George Jewell, 36 in the house. He may latch onto that 92 and shove him all the way to the front. Gardner still leads. 2 to go, coming to 1 to go. Gardner leads, but that outside lane starting to get some help, Daniel.
The big question is, once we take the white flag, looks like we're going to get there this time. Do they make it back around in one piece? You've got Jeremy Gardner leading, Logan Sturgeon second, James Silvers in third. Top 3 all under a blanket. Put Silvers up to the outside. Tyler Justice, third car in line on the bottom. He's going to stay on the bottom. Jeremy Gardner trying to hang on as they head through 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Gardner's going to cover that bottom side. Logan Sturgeon down on the bottom side as well. Silvers wanted Justice to go with him. Here comes George Jewell. Final shot. Door banging for second. Gardner's going to get it. They wreck at the line. Who in the hell got second, third? I have no idea. But Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, from 20th to 1st, led 11 laps. He gets it done. Save 22 is in the house, and they're going to be rolling with it here tonight for the win. Logan Sturgeon will get second. James Silvers will get third after him and George Jewell and Sturgeon, all of them crashed coming to the line. Joel fourth, and Tyler Justice will finish fifth here tonight. How about this? Top 5, 3 of them started 20th or worse. You can't make that up. And the other 2 drivers, Silvers and Joel, both of them started on the front 2 rows. I mean, literally both ends of the spectrum. But the night belongs to Jeremy Gardner. Big Daddy getting it done and burning it down on the front stretch.
Yeah, Jeremy with a really nice run there at the end, able to bring it home. Jake, we have got to take another look at that battle for second place on back there at the end. These guys put on one hell of a show there on that final lap. We've got it queued up on the instant replay. See, Logan Sturgeon was running there in that second position. This is actually coming to the white flag. Tyler Justice was in third with James Silvers, the 4 car, running in 4th. And let's just take a look at this final lap. Silvers was trying to make something happen, trying to get up there on the outside and get a run to get up there to the front. Didn't quite have the momentum that he needed at that point. So we take a look here. I think actually we may be going back a little bit further here. Yeah, it was actually just a little bit further back than what I had thought it was here. But Jake, these guys put on one heck of a drive back to the checker.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely did. You see Silvers right here trying to get the shot, try to run up through here. He actually sits in the 3rd spot. Gardner right there as well. And eventually they get double wide, and then you get to the door banging for the 2nd spot with Sturgeon, and Silvers. And then George Jewell just shoots up here. I mean, literally, he come up here out of absolutely nowhere. Literally. Joel, I mean, he just come out of nowhere, had no idea. Here's the white flag. This is what we were talking about, how they were coming through here. Sturgeon right here, battling right here. The door bang. You got Justice right there behind them. And then Daniel, after that, this is just chaos right here.
You see 3 wide a little farther back with George Jewell sending it 3 wide again. Little bit of contact there between Sturgeon and Silvers. They were damn near 4 wide coming through for second place there. And you can see they made it back to the checkered flag. And it was on from there as they went down into turn 1 on the cool down lap, taking a page out of the Lucas Lyons playbook, reckon on the cool down lap there. But you can see they're coming through turns 3 and 4. There again, there's that big move from George Jewell. Logan Sturgeon, I'm not sure if he got just a little bit loose on the touch there from Tyler Justice or what it was, but gets him to the line in second, and they were all over the track behind him for position after that.
Well, what a drive right here, right on board one more time with Tyler Justice. All this going on. This is going to be interesting right here. Riding on board with a 33, Tyler Justice. At one point, he was sitting in fourth. You see George Jewell just shoot up there out of a cannon. Sturgeon, like you said, might have stepped loose, come up into silvers. And then after that, good Lord have mercy, everybody hold on and try to make it stick. Like Justice looked like he come home second, but he really come home fourth. That's beside the point. Jeremy Gardner, Big Daddy G, gets it done. Sturgeon second, Silver's third. We'll talk to those guys here in just a hot second. We're going to let you hear from some of our great sponsors. Don't go anywhere. You've been watching Goat Locker Racing live here on V-Speed.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Well, folks, we're back here at Atlanta. Screw it. We'll just go with Atlanta at this spot. Atlanta, Echo Park, or Home Depot Speedway, whatever it is. Welcome back as we got the results lined up for you. Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, gets it done, gets the win here tonight. He pretty much had it in the bag for the win. The battle was on for second. They were damn near 4 wide coming to the line. Logan Sturgeon gets second, but James Silver's third. George Jewell fourth, and Tyler Justice rounds out the top 5. Alex Cruz, pretty good run for him, started outside the top 20, comes up here, gets 6th. Stub Nation, Timothy Stubblefield finishing 7th. Good run for him tonight. Tyler Evans will come home 8th. Charles Stevens will get 9th. And Cody Babe the winner of the Dash for Cash, getting him 60 big ones pocketed after beating all the other guys for the Dash for Cash. He comes home with a top 10.
Just outside the top 10, the second of our Dash for Cash drivers, Timothy Wilms, just misses out on that. He is going to finish in 11th. Brian Provo coming home in 12th. Bobby Germain in 13th. Chuck Pegleg Felts coming home in 14th. Last car on the lead lap is going to be Charles Abert in 15th. Cody McElwain, another one of our Dash for Cash drivers, pretty much spent the entire race a lap down after that early drive-through penalty that he had. Never quite able to be in that free pass position when any of the cautions came out. He's going to come home in 16th. Jake Ellingson with that black flag that he had as well, coming home 17th. Jamie Barkis, 18th. Jamie Libke in 19th. And Ricky Sisk Jr. going to round out the 20th position.
And Jacob Linke rounds out the 21st spot with Cody Anderson finishing 22nd. Patrick Drabick, the man, the myth, the legend, is not going to like the outcome here this evening, finishing 23rd with James Kaufman. And Dylan Canova end up being the 24th and 25th drivers here tonight. Ryan Pendleton decided, screw it, I ain't racing. He might have been race control here this evening, but he decided he was going to park it for the evening. That's the 25, possibly 26 drivers here tonight at Home Depot Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta. We'll bring up your race winner, Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, in the house. Jeremy, buddy. Damn, what a win, buddy. All the way from 20th, missing all the chaos, driving up through there, getting it done. Congratulations on the win. Tell us about it.
Yes, sir. Feels pretty good. Rebound from last week. I think we'll get on that. I ain't gonna lie, that was boring. That was a little boring. We're just riding single file the whole race, and then it come down to a fuel mileage race. I'm sure y'all. I didn't get to watch the broadcast while I was driving, but I'm sure y'all could kind of tell we were about 50% throttle just saving. But I think me and the other guys, hell, Tyler was 4 laps to the good. I was 2 laps to the good. And then thankfully that caution came out. So if we'd have got a green, white checker right there, I kind of would have been screwed. But when that one caution did come out, it kind of helped me gain an extra lap just in case. I hadn't been up front, so I didn't know how much it was going to eat. But thankfully the teammates played it tonight. Great teamwork again this week. This Save 22 team has been absolutely wonderful this year.
Well, good run tonight, Jeremy. You actually, usually Jake steals one of my questions, or Lucas will when me and him are co-commentating, but you actually stole my question because I was going to ask about fuel saving. We saw Jake Ellingson get out to look like about a 10-second lead, and was wondering if maybe he wasn't saving while y'all were. So since you already answered my question, I'll just go ahead and ask. Next week, we head to Watkins Glen for our first road course race of the season. How are you feeling about that heading to the road course? And does it take a little bit of the pressure off now that you got that win, lock yourself into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes some pressure off, but enjoy watching me run about 15th next week. I, for the life of me, cannot run road course and NASCAR stuff, but I can drive the hell out of some GT3s out of them. I'd make it make sense. I don't know. But another thing about the fuel saving tonight is this new this little UI or whatever iRacing put out, like the fuel calculator is a lot different than what it was. Like one lap, it would say we were 4 laps, 5 laps to the good. And then actually, once you really started pushing, it would actually drop 4 laps. So we were kind of scared to really build a strategy there towards like lap 5 or lap 75. But thankfully, we trusted our gut and stayed out. So.
Well, Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, ain't got to worry about him next week. He ain't no SVG, but it doesn't matter. He's already got the win to luck himself into the playoffs. Jeremy, congratulations on the win. Appreciate your time. And as always, before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any shout outs?
Yes, sir. Pat and Jamie always. Lincoln Tech, my guys over at Save 22. Appreciate them being on the car. Appreciate everything they do for this GLR community. Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Cruisin Classics. Of course, y'all guys for putting on the broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it. Just see Save and Feel most of the time, but whatever. And my guys at Premier Racing Setups.
Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner gets it done, gets the win here tonight. Jeremy, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you up in New York, Yankee Country, Watkins Glen next week.
Yes, sir. See you next week.
Absolutely. That was Jeremy Gardner. Send him on back down. Go to P2, which is obviously Logan Sturgeon. Logan, buddy, started back there running with Jeremy Gardner. You started 23rd. You end up finishing second here tonight. I'm sure you'll take it, but tell me about this battle that y'all had coming to the line. Because you got, I don't know if you got loose or you got beef with James Silvers, come up and doored the hell out of him, and then all of a sudden, hell, y'all were 4 wide coming to the line. Talk us through this whole deal. You ain't got to go through the whole last lap. Just give me a reference of 4 to the line. Damn.
So I told Jeremy, my teammate, lap before that I was with him till the white flag. And then we were going to race it out, and the 4 got above me, and I told him, I was like, I'm with you till the checkered. And Tyler Justice was behind me, our other teammate, as well as George Jewell. So we had 4 of us lined up, and I was telling Tyler, I said, just push me. And he pushed me and just came through the tri-oval or quad oval. I actually don't even know. I haven't even seen the replay as to what happened. I think everybody just kind of fanned out, and yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was just a few cars just going for the same position. But I was sticking with Jeremy till the end, and just, that's super speedway racing, I guess.
Logan, Jeremy Gardner answered my question that I had before I got to ask it, and you just did the same damn thing. So I think this is a role reversal of the broadcaster curse that I usually put on the drivers. That y'all are taking my questions before I even get a chance to say it. So
yeah, well, thank you.
Know what?
Last week, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you know what? I don't even really have a good question to ask because y'all done answered all my damn questions. So I'm just going to go ahead and say congrats on that second place. And hey, I also saw the big news on Facebook today as well of you having Big Fish Barbecue as one of the official sponsors that you can use in iRacing now. So that's really awesome news. Yeah, I ain't even got a question for you, buddy. So I just want to give you a shout out on that real quick while we're up here.
Thank you. That was really exciting to be able to see that yesterday after the update. And obviously for my paint scheme, it's probably a little bit of a giveaway, but the same logos for Big Fish Barbecue are going to be in the NASCAR 25 game that's coming out in October as well for the paint booth. So we'll be seeing Big Fish Barbecue on console throughout the country on PS5, Xbox, as well as PC. So I'm beyond excited for that.
Yeah, I will. Well, real quick, before you get to your sponsors and shout outs, is there any way we can pre-order that damn thing? Because I still have not found out a link. I have not. I know when it's coming out, and I know it comes out for PS5. I'm gonna get it for PS5, but can we get a pre-order link for God's sakes? Some of us want to pre-order this damn thing.
I was just at GameStop earlier in the week, and they haven't heard anything about it, and I was kind of surprised. But no, I'm the same way because I want the physical copy of it, just to have for a memento for being having the logo in the game. So we're just kind of waiting. I feel they've been teasing us the last few months, and I'm like, just give us something, give us the trailer, give us a whether we can pre-order it or not, give us something.
I'm telling you what, you can't even pre-order it on the PlayStation Store, GameStop, whatever. I tell you what, I hate to do it. I'll play it, and I can't wait to play it. But just because y'all haven't got us a link for a pre-order, we got beef. We ought to be able to pre-order that damn thing. Logan, congratulations on the second place finish. Appreciate your time. And before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any shout-outs?
Yep, got to thank Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruisin Classics at Nasty and Nasty's, V Speed, Alexander PCs. Shout outs to Goat Locker for what they just did up at the SimRig Expo over the weekend. I know Pat's working his ass off at Jamie and Jake and all those guys. So they're the reason why we all get to do this together. So big shout outs to them and what they've been able to accomplish.
Logan Sturgeon, buddy, you come home second here tonight. Congratulations on the second place finish. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at Watkins Glen next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Logan Sturgeon, comes home with the second place finish here this evening. P3 belongs to the number 4. He started third. He finishes third. Car number's one spot off, but hell, he'll take it any way that he can. James Silvers comes home with P3 here tonight. James, buddy, at that last lap, I mean, just all kinds of craziness. You still come home with a podium finish. Tell us about it.
Yeah, that last lap was pretty good right there. I know we was doing some fuel saving before all that, and then we had that caution late, but we decided to stay out and see what we could do with it. And yeah, just I was pushing it and had some help coming towards the last lap, but the car that was behind me, I think it was a couple cars. I just didn't have the arrow. And their front end was a little bit pushed in, so they couldn't really catch up to me. So, I mean, I was trying to go for the win. I mean, I'm always going to try to win the race. I mean, if I have the opportunity, but I just didn't have no help on the rear end, so I just had to side draft all the way up there to third. So I'm just glad that we finished third. I know we wrecked coming across the line, but it was a pretty good finish there.
Well, James, a really strong run tonight with that podium run. And early on in the race, it looked like you got into a little bit of trouble and dropped back a little bit there. I've briefly heard you mention something on race comms about like your steering wheel or something. It sounded like shutting off. Just what was it that you were fighting there? And what was your mindset trying to work your way back up through the field?
Well, that first caution, I think it was the first caution, they told me that they were spinning out, and I was getting loose. I could feel the car getting looser and looser each lap on the bottom, and I didn't really pay it no mind. And the caution came out, and they saw it, caution's out, and I was looking up in the mirror, and all of a sudden I started breaking loose, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose the car right here under caution. And sure enough, I did spin out and was trying to catch back up, and when I was trying to catch back up, the field that was stopped or about stopped on the backstretch, my steering wheel came off the pedestal I got it on here. So I had to grab a hold of it and hold it in place and slam on my brakes at the same time. And thank God nobody was in the way and I didn't run over anybody. But yeah, I got that situated, got back on pit road, fixed my steering wheel, got it locked back in place, and went out there and did our fuel saving strategy like we was planning on, and came home in third place tonight. So good call to Alex and getting us in good position here to bring home this podium.
Well, James Silvers, buddy, comes home with the podium here tonight, finishes P3, exactly where he started. James, congratulations on the podium finish. Tell us, or appreciate your time, I meant to say. And before we let you go, you got any sponsors and any shout-outs?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out y'all, as always, for putting on the broadcast. Y'all do an amazing job at V-Speed. You, Lucas, Jake, and Daniel, y'all do an amazing job. Y'all keep it up. Like to shout out everybody that gets everything going over here at Goat Locker Racing League. They do a tremendous job. They got a great series, a great group of people. Man, you need to check them out. Like to shout out iRacing, MK Fire Design, Sim Motion, and Cruisin Classics for sponsoring the Cup Series. And let me shout out the Cornerstone sponsors. I'd like to shout out, sorry, I lost my list again. Area Professionals of WNC, Gigi's Restaurant of Waynesville, North Carolina, Jake's Junk Solutions, Mountain View Detail, and Waynesville Tire, and my main sponsor now, Mount Silver Supply Company, and everybody at Cornerstone. And let's go kick some butt next week and do it again.
James Silvers comes home with the podium here tonight. James, congratulations on the podium. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at Watkins Glen next week.
Appreciate y'all. You boys have a good weekend.
That was James Silvers. Comes home with third here tonight. I'm sorry, I was over here looking at Facebook. This is going to get interesting when we get off the air. Maybe behind the mic for DBD. But I'm telling you what, Atlanta put on a show. We had the big ones. We had all kinds of good stuff. Daniel, buddy, final thoughts on new Atlanta, Home Depot, Echo Park Speedway, whatever the hell it is. I mean, your thoughts on it.
Well, it was definitely an interesting one. It's definitely an interesting one, a little bit different than what I expected, honestly, but coming into the race, but based off of what we saw in practice with drivers just struggling with grip, and then you throw in the fuel saving on top of that, it made for a lot of different strategies, a lot of intrigue on that aspect of it as far as the race goes. But next week, we are heading to the SVG Connor Zillage Playground. We're heading up to the Finger Lakes of New York. Jake, I just had to throw in the SVG thing there because I know how much you love SVG. Hopefully, none of our drivers break their collarbone next week, though, when we are in Watkins Glen, New York. I hope nobody falls out of their sim rig, especially whoever ends up winning that race. Please be careful when you celebrate. Don't go doing anything crazy like shooting fireworks off at each other or jumping off of nothing and breaking a bone or anything. We need you here for the next race, and we need you at work the next day. So next week, though, we're going to be heading to Watkins Glen. Going to catch it right here, same place, same time on V-Speed. And Jake, we're going to be back at the road courses like we were calling all summer long in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series.
Yeah, no kidding. And one thing also about your celebrations, when you get to those, make sure that you stay away from your buddy's cat litter box. But that's beside the point. We'll get to that, but this anyway. But anyway, folks, that's going to do it. I mean, Atlanta, it is what it is. It's like Talladega. I mean, you get the whole 9 yards. You get everything that you want out of it. You get the big ones. You get the mile and a half, the tire wear, the fuel strategy, like Jeremy Gardner said, 50% throttle. But, hell, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to win the race. Sure enough, that's exactly what he did here this evening. Could he go for 2 in a row? Probably not. He's not the SVG like he said, but heck, who knows? You got to survive it when you go to Watkins Glen next week. But folks, that's going to do it here for this broadcast. Obviously, want to thank all of our great sponsors here with Goat Locker. Obviously, with Jam Predict Promotions for the Jam Predict Promotions Pole Award winner, Lincoln Tech. Obviously, Save 22 in Vets, Nasty's Restaurant Bar, Glove Station, Above the Yellow Line podcast. Can't forget about McCody Setup Shop, iRacing, because hell, if we didn't have iRacing, we wouldn't be doing this. And also, big shout out to Cruisin Classics, the title sponsor of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series live here on V-Speed. Shout out to the drivers for always putting on a hell of a show, and the fans for always coming out in big old numbers. Patrick Drabick, Jamie Barkus, everybody with V-Speed that allow us to come in here on Wednesday night and entertain you, the fans. Also, a quick and huge shout out to Dougie Beard, the famous Dougie Beard, for the cameras that we used here this evening. For Double L, Lucas Lyons, and also for my good buddy, Oregon fan, I guess you want to call it, Daniel Cunningham. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. So as always say, be safe, be kind, be fast. Super Speedway Racing, we're done with it. Now, I wish we was going to a short track, but we're not. We're going left and right next week, live here on V-Speed, round 4 of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series up in Yankee Country. Watkins Glen International, who is going to survive at the Glen? Tune in next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live or here on V-Speed to find out. We will see you there. And I will say this. They have a hell of a party in Watkins Glen. We'll be partying with you.